Welcome back. Practice 8 for training camp is done. It went from 2 to 3:30, I believe, was the time that they went to today. I know for sure they started at 2 o'clock. And getting here a little later than we hoped, but 4:30, we're able to get this in. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, what I had on thumbnail, safeties had a pretty good day, it sounded like. The defense yesterday was balling. Defense, ever since they really started to put the pads on, defense has been doing their thing. Offense has struggled more when the pads came on. Today they weren't in full pads. They did have helmets on. They had shoulder pads on. So they're just in their soft shells, basically. Nothing crazy today, but they did have, of course, some team periods, working on different things. Red zone was one of them. So let's start to get into what the Colts had going on today at training camp. And as we start here, see this is every one of these training camp videos. You see this, and this is the beginning of practice. Michael Pittman and A.D. Mitchell getting some extra work in with Reggie Wayne during the special teams period. So they could just be sitting there watching, just like everybody else is doing, but these two continuing to get work together. A.D. staying on the hip of Pitt and Reg, which is exactly what we need going into the season. Then some D-line clips here. This is something they become accustomed to. Usually the first drill that they do, it's a lockout and shed drill. Just getting everybody moving. I heard that Quiddy's been stacking some good days together. There isn't a whole lot being said about Quiddy, but we'll see later. Somebody was talking about Quiddy and how he's been looking at camp so far. This is just everybody going through the drill, trying to pay attention to where the guy in the back is, right? They want people to keep their eyes upfield. These defensive linemen, they need to keep eyes upfield, see where's the ball carrier going. That's what that drill right there is for. And having a get-off drill right here. See, where's Latu? Latu, number 97 at the end. Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to beat Latu right there. Right, it says that every rep there's a winner and a loser. I can't see who he's going up. Looks like Isaiah Land he's going up against. So, yeah, Latu's just built different. Then as we come up, defensive line working on initiating contact off the snap. This one nice and easy, nothing crazy about this one. This is a pretty, generic drill for the most part. Let's see, wrong button. Let's get out of that. Thank you. Okay. Heard somebody say or saw somebody say that AR was moving well, avoiding sacks in 11 on 11, which is funny because yesterday I was talking about how I'm not hearing anything about Anthony Richardson using his legs throughout any of these practices. Seems like there might be an emphasis on trying to make sure he's staying in the pocket and trying to get the offense to work with him just staying in the pocket rather than him, having to run and try to make things happen. So it's good to see. Today there are going to be a couple different notes about Anthony Richardson using his legs to make things happen. You have Noah Compton here. Says Colts starters' first team period of the day is a red zone drive that featured a few highlight plays from both sides. His notes here were touchdown from Richardson to Mo Alley Cox on a tunnel screen, pressure from Latu that caused AR to scramble. And then an angry run from Trey Sermon. His next note was that Trey Sermon and Drew Ogletree were the clear offensive winners of the Colts red zone period. Both had multiple strong runs / catches, and each found pay dirt against the backup defense. So you see the second team coming out doing their thing again. Joe Flacco's second team offense continues to do their thing against the second team defense for the most part. It hasn't been perfect, of course, but the second team offense been faring pretty well against the second team defense. In terms of specialists, who do we have returning? It's still Josh Downs and Anthony Gould, but Ethan Fournier was added to that group today and was taking some punt return reps. Now, some stuff happening for the safeties today. Have Nate Atkins here saying more interesting usage for the Colts safeties today. They started out with Nick Cross at free safety and Julian Blackmon at strong safety, which is what we expect. But then they subbed Rodney Thomas in at free safety with Cross on the second team. So they had Nick Cross playing strong safety with Rodney Thomas playing free safety for the second team. And then they had Cross at strong safety and Blackmon at free safety. So just switching what their roles are. Maybe they think that, Blackmon at free safety, he can be more rangy. He's smarter. Maybe you put Cross closer to the ball so that he can just try to react better. Maybe that's what they're trying to get out of that. We'll continue, of course, to monitor what's happening with the safety situation. If they're doing this kind of stuff with the safeties, I would assume they're at a point where they might not feel great about what they see. Now, again, after a day like today, they probably feel pretty good about their safeties, and we'll see that as we go on. But it'll be interesting to see. Hey, Justin Simmons apparently has like 12 offers on the table. One of those I would assume is probably the Colts. And would he take it? Would we pay him more to make sure he gets in here? We'll see. Then you have Noah Compton here. A lot of these are Noah Compton, it appears. Anthony Richardson threaded one up the right side of the field to fit one into A.D. Mitchell for a 15, 20-yard gain for the starter's first pass attempt and 11 on 11. So starting out well there, but then an unbelievable play by E.J. Speed, who covered Josh Downs all the way up the field for a pass breakup in the end zone. And then you have Colts Kwity Paye. Finally, a little note on Kwity Paye, stacking strong days in pass rush just into the starter's 11 on 11 period with a would-be sack on Anthony Richardson. So, Kwity Paye doing his thing. It's really the first mention we've had of Kwity Paye throughout all these practices, honestly. So, good to see him getting in there. It's just consistency that we need to see from Kwity Paye at this point. You have Anthony Richardson left the deep ball for Josh Downs just a bit short, and E.J. Speed closed quickly to break up the pass in the end zone. So this is the one that Noah Compton was talking about, the E.J. Speed pass breakup. But just a little more context there. E.J. Speed able to close quickly. I think I saw somebody else say that it was an underthrown ball. Slightly behind Josh Downs, which is why E.J. Speed was able to get there. Anthony Richardson is 3 for 6 in 11 on 11 work. Kwity Paye has a sack. Then safety development, Colts third-year safety Nick Cross makes an impressive diving interception on Anthony Richardson on the starter's second play of their call-it period from 25. So, Nick Cross being able to find some success in the defense, right? Finally, one of the other safeties making plays. Julian Blackmon's been doing his thing. Juju Brents has had a quiet camp, which is probably a good thing. But now you have Nick Cross making a play, and that's what we need is for somebody to step up and be that guy. Maybe Nick Cross can be that guy. That was in the 2-minute drill. Where they were doing that. Just some more context here. Cross perfectly predicted the pass, diving in front of the wide receiver to bring in the interception. Let's see, red zone drill, AR intercepted in the end zone. It was intended for Kylan Granson. He's now 3 for 7 with a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and an interception. So, Anthony Richardson getting it done, right? Getting the passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown, but also throwing another interception, which I think it's 3 practices in a row that he's throwing a pick. So, hopefully, of course, in training camp, that's a spot where you're going to try to do things you wouldn't normally do in a game, right? You're going to see what you can get away with. And he's figuring it out right now. Just need to rein that in once we get into real game action in the preseason and regular season. But Then, after Nick Cross makes a play on the first team, Ronnie Thomas intercepts Joe Flacco in the end zone on the second team. So both safeties making plays, neither one differentiating from the other, right? One play might be more impressive than the other, right? The diving interception, but both these guys came in and made plays today. So, again, not really standing out. Both guys still kind of even at this point. Anthony Richardson with a dart to Kylan Granson for 20 yards. Tight window with two defenders closing in during 11-on-11 period. Follows it up by rushing for a 3-yard touchdown. So, good to see, right, making those throws. Where can I fit it, right? What windows can I throw into on these different plays with what I'm seeing? Anthony Richardson fits one into Kylan Granson in a good spot. And then rushes for a touchdown, seemingly probably the next play. Excuse me. Then you have George Brimmer here with a couple updates. Anthony Richardson bounces back with a solid high red zone possession, which means closer to the 20-yard line. Completes the pass to Kylan Granson and the 2 on a beautiful throw. At the 2, sorry. Tripping. Completes pass at the 2 on a beautiful throw, then runs in for a touchdown on 4th down. So it was the very next play. Then AR finishes 5 for 11 with a passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, and an interception. So all in all, solid day. But again, got to continue to get better. Got to hit the passes, right? Got to see the completion percentage come up. Once we get into the season, right, if you look back at last year when he was playing, completion percentages weren't incredible. So hopefully we get to a position where sorry, thought I heard a noise coming from the desktop. But yeah, hopefully we can get to a spot where there's just more consistency, even in practice, hitting passes, knowing what he can do, knowing what he can't do, and what comes from that. Okay, then we have Gus Bradley here talking about the free safety position. It's about guys who will step up, which is what we continue to talk about. Who's going to take the reins of that safety job and take it for themselves and be that guy going into the season? Who's going to do it? Both guys make a play today, so who can be consistent? That's what we talk about with so many things. We need consistent edge pressure. We need consistent safety play. We need somebody to be consistent in making plays. Julian Blackmon has been that guy for one safety spot. Now we need somebody on the other safety spot that can do the same thing. Just be consistent. Of course, these are young guys, right? Nick Cross, this is his 3rd year in the NFL. He's 22 years old. Okay, he's a very young NFL player. Somebody that, since he's gotten drafted, there have been a lot of guys older than him being drafted. Next year, there are going to be guys coming into the league getting drafted at the same age or older than Nick Cross, and Nick Cross is going to be going into his 4th year. So he's still really young. The maturity, like Gus Bradley talked last year about the maturity that has to happen with him, and you would expect that, and physical maturity has to happen, right? Growing into his more manly body from the 20-year-old that he was when he came in, right? Anybody that's, at least in their mid-20s and above understands what I mean there. But, as he continues to grow, his body continues to grow his mind, to get more mature in many ways, hopefully Nick Cross can step up and be that guy. Now, the interesting part is that, we've talked so much about the safety situation. I saw on Twitter people were talking about, hey, why don't – or I think it was Destin Adams, to be specific, I think is who I saw mention it. Getting Justin Simmons to come in and then have Nick Cross behind him. You get Justin Simmons on a 1 or 2 year deal, then, Nick Cross can learn from him, right, and be on his hip the way the AD is on Pitt's hip. He can learn from him. can figure out the game while he continues to develop mentally and physically. And then at 23 or 24 years old, he becomes our starting safety and has experience, right? There are a bunch of pictures. If you go searching for Nick Cross and go look at images, you'll see a bunch of pictures of him standing next to and talking with Stephon Gilmore. When Stephon Gilmore was here, he kind of got under his wing, tried to pick his brain. So if we could do that with Justin Simmons, we could get a high elite level starter at the safety position right now, and then have Nick Cross, next year or the year after, come in, be a high end starter after that. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that's a solid plan. I'm down with it. And at some point we're going to have a separate video. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but a separate video about that situation, right? For the people that aren't going to see this, we're just going to have a whole video about that situation and go more in depth on it. Because right now, that's our weakest link. So that's what we're looking at. How can we get better, and how can we get better right now? That's what we're looking at. So going forward, we'll talk more about that. Then there's this Gus Bradley clip. I'm going to go ahead, put the headphones on real quick. I'm going to listen to this with you guys. Just got to turn the audio on here and then turn the audio on here.
And with that, you get a lot of
the defensive backfield, just in general.
Pretty good. I think, right now we're just trying to find out what the combination is, but we have guys that we can move around and see. We're just taking a look at everybody. But, that's the good thing about this is a lot of guys are getting a lot of reps, and with that, you get a lot of, good depth created.
What have you seen out of the
All right, so that was a little quieter than I thought. Just in case you didn't really get to hear that, he's talking about how there are a lot of guys getting reps, which is exactly what we expected coming into this season. We expected a lot of guys to get reps, but like Trevor Denbo being thrown in the conversation was worrisome. Ronnie Harrison switching roles and being part of the safety conversation is scary, right? He was good in his role last year. I want him to stay there, but also he's older, lost a step. Like, are we really going to put him back there because we don't trust these young guys that much? And that was worrisome when I heard it. So, a lot of guys getting reps right now. Gus Bradley's saying kind of what you would expect him to. And also kind of what we knew, that safety position, free safety is up in the air, and we're not sure what's going to happen. But then you have Jim Bob Cooter here, asked about his observations regarding Anthony Richardson's growth when it comes to consumption of information and accuracy thus far at training camp. I tried to turn the volume up a little bit. So
pulling a ton of information at these.
How have you felt about Anthony stacking days, just information consumption-wise and then accuracy-wise as well through training camp?
Yeah, it's been a good stretch for him. We throw a lot at guys early in camp, week 1, week 2. We're really shoveling a ton of information at these guys. And now we're getting to the point in camp where that install sort of slows down, and we're able to dive into the details. And for all of our players, we think that's going to lead to just more and more and more sort of, I guess, I'm going to say this poorly, but just more clean execution out there. So we're all getting a little bit better every single day. Anthony, like I said, for a quarterback, we're throwing so much at him. God, there's a million cadences. Gus is doing all these looks he's telling you guys about when I'm not over here. And we're working through all that. We're competing through all that. And now's the time to really hone in on the details. So it's been a good couple weeks of work. Training camp's not supposed to be easy. So, hey, there's been a hiccup here and there for all of us. That's part of the gig, part of the deal. But we're going to start refining all the information and hopefully the execution moving forward. We're really, really pleased with what we're doing right now. But it's the time of year where we need some work to be put in, some adversity to be put on our guys to see how we handle those things. And a little bit of that's happening schematically right now, which is really good for us. So all of us as a whole, we've had some really good days at camp. We've had some days that maybe were just left a little bit hanging there cleanness wise. So we got a chance to sort of refine those details and go attack them moving forward.
Okay, so hopefully we're able to didn't mean to do that. Yeah, okay, here we go. So hopefully you guys were able to hear that. And, what he's talking about, is, again, what you'd expect. This coaching staff is really good at saying all the right things, and he's saying things that are good, right? All the information that they throw at guys, like this time last year, they couldn't throw as much at him because there was such a big learning curve, right? A whole new offensive staff coming in, rookie quarterback coming in, a lot of young guys, and they had to reteach everything. So coming in last year, it was a slow start. Coming in this year, the verbiage, they can do so more right now because of the familiarity, the continuity. Everybody knows the offense, right? The rookies are getting up to speed, but because most of the guys that are in the building understand what it was like last year, they know what to expect. Like, it's hit the ground running. They're able to handle the level of information that's coming in at a rapid rate because of what they did last year, because of the work that was put in last year. So, again, kind of exactly what you would expect. That's just what he's talking about there. Again, they're going to have the rest of their press conferences. If there's anything of note, of course, I'll let you guys know for sure. And then this is, for the moment, the last clip here where A.D. Mitchell, just some quick work, adjusting his body, going up, getting the catch, having a lot of fun out there. Showing off the hands real quick. And then just let me go ahead and see if there's anything else. I'm going to go ahead, come here real quick. Just want to make sure I get you guys all the information. And you know what? I like Destin Adams. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys this. If you're on Twitter, he's doing a giveaway partnering with Planet Euphoria to give away one of their unique and rare Colts t-shirts. They have a Manning shirt here, which is incredible. I would love to have that shirt. Limited design, extremely rare. And then an Anthony Richardson. I'd love to have either of these, so let me go ahead and bookmark that so that I can enter into that myself. Then as we look here, see what we have. So this was the last thing as I had seen. Chris Ballard, that's just somebody's opinion. Anthony Richardson didn't have the sharpest day passing the ball, but still put up 3 touchdowns on day 8. We kind of looked at all that already. Gus Bradley asked when the team will try to solidify its starting free safety. He says, I think as soon as someone consistently steps up. Exactly what we were just talking about. More consistently, you have to be able to separate yourself. So consistently making plays is what we're looking for. I went on to say, once we feel good about, all right, this is the direction we're going to go, then we'll go. But I don't think we're any time close right now. So he doesn't even think we're close. Dude, the season's right around the corner. And that's not hyperbole. We're barely a month, more than a month away from the season. It's time to figure it out. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to be the guy. Yeah, somebody's got to step up, be that guy for that safety spot. Nice. And then we have, boom, right here at the top. Progress, not perfection. Kenny Moore on Twitter. No, Lyles is, oh, okay. Sire talking trash. Okay. So that seems to be that. I'll keep this up for right now. They preach continuity. Didn't want to fill holes. Yeah, that's the hard part, right? He's like, I'm going to go take this off. That's the hard part. Is because you want the continuity there. And that's why I wish we would have taken care of this earlier in the offseason, you go get Justin Simmons early in the offseason, like, he doesn't have the continuity of knowing the defense right away, and he wasn't here last year, and like not that continuity, but at least having a full offseason to learn, to come into the role and to be a part of the team, and then being a veteran guy, like he'll figure it out, right? Been in plenty of defenses, plenty of coaching changes in his career in Denver, so. A guy like Justin Simmons could have figured it out through the offseason. We're at a point now where you bring somebody in, you don't have that continuity right away. He can be a special player, but I feel like it won't have the same impact. Do I still want it to happen? Yeah, because I just right now don't feel good about the safety situation. If the coaches don't feel good about it, I'm a little nervous about it. So, it's not a great feeling. With what we have, but in terms of continuity, like that's the conversation is continuity. Like we just need to keep rolling with what we have. So yeah, it's tough to try to balance those. And again, that's what Chris Ballard gets paid to do. You know what I mean? So he's got to be able to figure it out. The coach has got to figure that out. Is it worth bringing Justin Simmons in? At the end of the day, will it be worth bringing Justin Simmons in? That's what they have to decide. But thank you, hopping in the chat. Who else is in here? Just kind of chilling right now. Want to get a workout in, but I'm just kind of chilling. So you guys let me know. I see there's a few of you in here. What you guys got going on? You got any questions, any thoughts? What we got going on, Colts Nation? I know for me, I live here in Florida. Derby, what's going on, man? Again, down here in Florida, we've been having the tropical storm come through. So ever since yesterday, man, just periods of it'll start raining and crazy wind, and then it'll just stop. And like for the most part, it hasn't been sunny. A little while ago, it was sunny, and then it downpoured again, and now it's kind of cloudy again. It's been mostly cloudy the last couple of days here, but. We're just big chilling, right? It's still Florida. When it's not raining, I walk outside, it feels incredible. So, can't really complain from that aspect, Yeah, that's what we got going on. I had the day job today. Not really the day job. I had to, I'm one of the managers where I work. So, I had to go take a test off-site and do that whole bit. So that's how I spent most of my day. I came straight from there to here. That's why I'm still in the sweats, because I knew that place was going to be real cold, and it was. Derby says, so the free safety is just a mess, maybe messier than Tropical Storm. I was just checking out. Cletus McFarland and the Tropical Storm washed out his racetrack. Not going to lie to you, I have no idea who that is, but I believe it, man. I know there are places that are flooding. The place that I came from had flooding in certain roads, had to take, alternate route because there's some flooding down there. So, yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of flooding happening. Luckily, just tropical storm, we just had a hurricane last year. I think it was the year before we had a hurricane, so... we'll take tropical storms. I think everybody down here is on the same page. I will take tropical storms all day. Just chill out with the hurricanes. Give us a break for a minute. Is really where we're at. But, the free safety position is a mess. I just think at this point, like, you really don't have options. Like, you just don't have options. Like, Adrian Amos 3 years ago could have been an option, right? There are a lot of guys like that are free. You know what? I'm just going to go look at the free safety. We're just going to do this right here. Let's go look at free agent, free safeties, or free agent safeties. Yep. Free agent safeties. Go over to Spo track here. And just go all safeties. We're going to look at all the safeties. We're not just going to say free safety. We're just going to go ahead and look at all of them. All statuses. Let's go available. Okay. So let's look at this together, right? This is what we're looking at. Let me make this bigger so that you can see it. Let me stretch that out. I don't know why it's not letting you see the end of the screen. Oh, you know what? I do know why it's doing that. 1 second. Just let me. Oh, no, that doesn't appear to be it. Isn't that what it was? Maybe it's. Yeah, whatever. You guys can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to have to figure out why it won't let me do that. Oh, you know what? I bet it's this. Nope, it's not that. Okay. So, Justin Simmons, of course, sitting at the top of the list. Need him. His previous average annual value, $15.25 million. Colts currently have almost $26 million in cap space. They have more than enough to bring in Justin Simmons for whatever he wants. Micah Hyde, again, a couple years ago, would have been a good option, but unfortunately, he's been very injured over the last few years. Really good player, but just injured again and again and again. Tracy Walker, pretty good player. I guess he would be an option. Not a terrible option either. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like the greatest option, but I mean, if you're going to pay a guy to come in that has like some ups and downs, right? Has some inconsistencies, like you might as well roll with your young guys. That's how I kind of feel about Tracy Walker, right? Not terrible. Wouldn't be a terrible option, but just keep rolling with the young guys. Jaron Kearse, another guy that's kind of the same way. Ups and downs. Why bring him in? An older player, you just keep running with the younger guys. Adrian Phillips, Tashawn Gibson, Keanu Neal, who was good for the Falcons his first few seasons. Unfortunately, injuries have kind of taken control of his career. So not him either. These other guys are just too old. Like, you keep moving down. Henry Black, he has familiarity, but is he ever going to get in? Doesn't matter. Adrian Amos, again, sitting here, but just no, not anymore. Ryan Neal, no. Like, the options just aren't there, and that's really all I wanted to look at. Just the options that we have to choose from just aren't there anymore. You know, we kind of put ourselves in this position. We waited. The free agent safeties of this year just didn't want to wait. You know, we've seen in years past where you have different veteran guys at different positions that just kind of chill and wait because they don't want to do training camp. That didn't happen this year. Justin Simmons still sitting there. Maybe that is what he's doing. Maybe he knows where he wants to go, and he's just not doing it yet. Maybe he's looking, hey, where can I really fit in and make a difference on a team that has a chance to compete? Hopefully he sees what we're doing and he decides that, hey, maybe that's us. You know, that'd be great. So Diggs going to the Titans. They got both Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. Yeah, and like Jamal Adams, I'm not worried. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not worried about Jamal Adams. I would never want Jamal Adams. When he's on the field, the production just hasn't been there. All right, it just hasn't. All right, when he was with the Jets, he was really good. I think he played really well in the role that he played in that defense. Went to Seattle, production on the field, not really there. Injuries have kind of taken control of his career the last couple of years. So, am I really that worried about Jamal Adams? No, it's Quandre Diggs that, in my opinion, is really good. And Quandre Diggs, a good veteran player. I thought he was going to try to go somewhere to win. I don't know why he's going to the Titans. I don't know what he sees in the Titans over other people, right? Got a deal of up to $5 million. I feel like he was probably offered more money elsewhere, but I don't know. So I don't know. Didn't feel great. Seeing that Quandre Diggs went to the Titans definitely didn't feel great. They've stacked talent. Texans have stacked talent. But we'll see. You can stack names all you want, but then you end up like the Dream Team Eagles or the Colts under Ryan Grigson. Stacking talent, man. We had Andre Johnson, Frank Gore come in. It just didn't matter. Stacking names, putting all the names in the bucket doesn't mean you're going to be good. So we'll see what happens there. I think it's Simmons or stick with what we have based on the guys that are available. Yeah, 100%. It's Simmons or Cross. Those are the options for me. When you think about who's starting week 1, it's probably going to be Simmons or it's probably going to be Nate Cross. It's probably not going to be anybody else. So as we get closer, of course, we'll monitor that. Again, just in case you weren't here for the live stream yesterday, I don't know if well, actually, let me correct this. I'm not going to be able to stream the entire preseason game this upcoming Sunday. I will be able to do the beginning of it. It's a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday in the preseason, which is kind of cool. But I have a work obligation. Again, I'm one of the bosses, so I have a work obligation and need to be there Sunday afternoon. But I will be able to do probably at least the first quarter and maybe some of the second quarter, hopefully the whole first half. It depends how long that first half takes. Hopefully we'll be able to do the whole first half. I just wanted to update anybody that may not have been here yesterday. We will still stream on Sunday, just can't do the whole thing. Similar to us and AR, the Titans season is dependent upon. Yeah, 100%. Like, is Will Levy, and Will Levy showed some stuff last year, like, had his moments. But also, like, I feel like every time he had a moment, it was like he was playing a really bad team, or at least a bad defense. And then, like, that's kind of how the NFL goes. Good defenses find ways to stop good players. So we'll see what he's able to do this year. I see why they have the optimism they do. I hate the Titans. I think Will Levis is the worst of the quarterbacks that came in last year. This and that. We can talk all the trash we want. I do that plenty. Okay, I do not like the Titans. But if we're going to be excited about what we saw from AR in a very limited capacity, I could definitely see why the Titans are excited about the possibility. Hey, maybe Will Levis cleans up some of the stuff from the end of last season, comes in, and is able to ball out. We'll see if that's able to happen. The Titans made that team better. So definitely possible, but hopeful that they are still going to finish 4th in the division. I think the Jaguars are going to take a step back too. I honestly think it's going to be a 2-man race in the AFC South this year between the Texans and the Colts. I think that second and third, second and fourth pick from 2023, that's going to be a controlling factor in the NFL for the foreseeable future. With Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, the AFC is loaded up on great young quarterbacks, man. And at the moment, AR and Stroud are the youngest of them. Okay. So I love the sound of that. If we can get 20 great years out of AR, man, after going from Peyton to Luck, having a little bit of a hiccup in there, Phillip Rivers coming in, which was great. That was a good year. I had a lot of fun that year as a Colts fan. Haven't had a whole lot of fun since the Phillip Rivers year, though. Like, Carson Wentz year was up and down because JT was incredible, and he had his moments. That team was tough to watch at times. Then 2022 happened, and then last year was a little bit of a comeback, right? The Shane Steichen era started on a good note. Now it's time to take it up a notch in 2024. So that's what I'm really hoping for, is to just keep ascending. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Daniel and Derby, appreciate y'all hopping into the chat. And again, we're going to have a video. I couldn't release the 1 o'clock video today because my internet was out because of the storms. So that's going to be coming out very shortly. And then I want to have a conversation, going to have a video out about the whole safety situation. I'm going to gather some thoughts about that and put it into its own video. So make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on, share this with anybody that you know that wants some Colts content in their lives. Go ahead, share this with them, man, and have them subscribe, notifications on, the whole thing. Going to keep pumping out content. I'm trying to have at least one video in a stream or at least 2 videos in a day, whatever it is. Trying to get as much content as possible to you guys that I possibly can, right? It's all about time. That's really what it all boils down to, having a full-time job and then having the time to do the other things in life. So see what Daniel said. Levy's is actually the oldest starting quarterback in the division, which is crazy. I did not know that. Just would have honestly assumed Trevor Lawrence was the oldest. But I assume because of the COVID situation and coming back and that whole bit, I assume that's what made. But that's crazy. I didn't know that, honestly. But again, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by for another stream. Subscribe, notifications on, that whole bit. Appreciate and love you guys. And as always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other.